Hey guys, and welcome back to another tier list video. So it's been a little bit since my last one. I decided to do a little thing to celebrate Christmas this year. Um, I was gonna do like a big plushie mini episode, but I just did not have enough time to really record and make it. I apologize, but I hope that this is a good substitute for this year. That Christmas special, I promise you, it'll be up in July. So, I've been going through the 25 Days of Christmas, and this year I was able to watch every single Rankin Bass Christmas special, all thanks to a DVD set known as the Complete Rankin Bass Christmas Collection, which has every single Christmas special that they produce. So, I decided why not rank them all. And before we begin, I need to. I've just made this tier called "Not a Rankin Bass Christmas Special," and I'll tell you why. So let's get those two out of the way. The first one that I'm going to put up here is Santa Baby, and that is because they were not produced by Rankin Bass. This special came out in 2001, and that was like quite a few years after the company went bankrupt. It was actually created by its parent company, Classic Media, um, but uh, it does have the in-name Rankin Bass logo in it. But don't get confused; it is not a Rankin Bass Christmas special. And the other one is this one right here, Charles Dickens' A Christmas Tree. Now, um, while it is technically a Christmas special, it's not a standalone Christmas special. I actually had to look this up, and it's actually part of a series, an animated series that Rankin Bass did in the '70s called like the family book series or something like that. So it's kind of part of that series. So I'm not really gonna count it as a standalone Christmas special because it's not in my DVD. These two are not in my DVD, but all the rest are. Um, so yeah, um, Stay tuned for the end of this video because this is gonna get a bit interesting as we move on. So we're gonna start with the first special here, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The very first Christmas special that Rankin Bass produced back when they were called Videocraft International. Um, and Rudolph is a pretty solid one, honestly. I do have a couple issues with it, but yeah, otherwise it's a certified it's going in A tier. Um because the only really problems I have is that like the stop motion's a bit dated and some of the character arts that they did like um Rudolph in his adult years, it kind of doesn't settle with me very well. As well as the overall character, some of the characters just feeling like they're out of character here. So yeah, we're gonna put Rudolph in the A tier. Okay. Next is Cricket on the Hearth, and this has got to be one of the worst animated specials I think I've ever seen. From like a professional like this wasn't even their first attempt at an animated feature because they did like a animated series called The Adventures of Wizard of Oz before this one. And honestly, like some of the animation just like doesn't even animate that well. To where like the animation like stops in frames, and I don't really like that. I'm gonna put Cricket on the Hearth in D tier. It the story is not even that engaging as well to save it, but the only reason why this isn't an F tier is because the song is actually pretty solid. The theme song for the show. Okay, Little Drummer Boy is honestly pretty forgettable for me. So yeah, I'm also gonna put this in D tier. Um, yeah. So yeah. Okay, next up is Frosty the Snowman, and it's honestly one of my favorite specials from the Rankin Bass Company, and I'm gonna put this in the S tier, or in this case today, it's the Certified Christmas Classics uh tier. So yeah, um, Frosty's always been like a is one of my favorites from this company, and it is very solid. So yeah. Uh, Santa Claus is coming to town. I am also going to put in the same tier as Frosty. Uh, and yeah, there's like almost nothing wrong with Santa Claus is coming to town. Uh, it basically does like a bit of an origin story of Santa Claus, and it's done really well. So yeah. Okay. Next up, we have "Twas the Night Before Christmas." So yeah. Um, this honestly, I can consider to be a hidden gem. Uh, so yeah. I'm gonna also put this in the certified Christmas classics tier. Uh, it's it's a hidden gem. Really enjoy I really enjoy the characters of this one and just like overall the no one ever talks about this one interestingly. Um, but I recommend go give it a watch if you can. It's amazing. Okay. All right. So next up we have The Year Without a Santa Claus. So I can tell why people love this special. It just doesn't click with me that much. But it's still a pretty solid one. I'm gonna put The Year Without a Santa Claus in the A tier. Um, yeah, there's quite a few things that I would say it doesn't belong in the certified class Christmas classics tier, but it's still a really solid special otherwise. Okay. Next up we got The First Christmas, the story of the first Christmas snow. I honestly just called it The First Christmas, but it was kind of disappointing, but at the same time it's okay at the same time. Uh it's not really a story about the first Christmas or the snow. It's the if you're thinking it's that, the title is extremely misleading. The it's actually about like putting on a play and then like oh all of a sudden 20 minutes in oh there's your snow. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense on why it's here, but it's there. Well done. So it I do like the characters in this one, but it it's an okay special. I'm gonna put it in C tier. Okay. Next, we got Frosty's Winter Wonderland. Now, if you're wondering why there's three sequels in a row, it's just because I based this tier list based on the release dates, and for whatever reason, in 1976, they had the nerve to do three sequels that year, based on their older Christmas specials. So, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, I consider to be the best of the three sequels. Just because just because like um the story is kind of like the story is kind of like a nice little follow up to Frosty the Snowman. It also introduces Crystal and Jack Frost as well. Uh, Wait till we get to that special. Uh, so yeah, Frosty's Winter Wonderland. I'm gonna put in the A tier. The only thing I would change is that the animation was a little bit clean, a little bit nicer, but it's overall pretty solid. Okay. Rudolph's Shiny New Year. I'll be honest, it kind of feels more of a New Year special than a Christmas special. If it were standalone, I would have probably, if I were ranking this, I would probably, since we're not, probably just put it in B tier. Um, it's not bad, but again, it's a good special, but it doesn't feel like a Christmas special, you know. Um, but it is a pretty good special still. I see. Yeah. And then the Little Drummer Boy book two. Again, this one is and of all the sequels, I don't really think the Little Drummer Boy even needed a sequel, but whatever. I have like the exact same problems with the Little Drummer Boy, so I'm gonna put it in the same tier as it. So yeah, all right. Next we got next year the Long Year Christmas Donkey. Uh, so um, it's kind of like Rudolph, but it's also not the same story. Like, yes, they do a bit of fun of poke fun of Nestor, but that's only like what, like 5 whole minutes of the special, and the rest is just like Nestor trying to find trying to go on like a little journey to find what he's useful for. Uh, and then like it's a much different story than Rudolph, in my opinion. It is similar in some aspects. Like for example, um, they in Rudolph wasn't forgiven that well much. Uh, he even after he came back from his adventure, he was still uh poked fun at. Not with Nestor. With Nestor, the reason why he had to go on an adventure was not because he was poked fun and feel like he needed to go alone. Yeah, they forgave him. They actually forgave Nestor before he even set off. The reason why he had to set off was because his mother gave her life away for him. So he had to go. So he goes on an adventure, and he eventually finds like Jesus and stuff. So yeah, that I just wanted to clear something up that I don't think Nestor is the same story as Rudolph. It's actually a pretty solid special by itself. I would actually consider it to be one of the most underrated specials of Rankin Bass's library, and I'm going to put it in the A tier. Um, it's not a Christmas classic just because I feel like the story could have been a bit better, but otherwise it's an A tier. So yeah. The stingiest band in town is quite literally a Christmas Carol. That's literally what this. It's basically the Rankin Bass's take on a Christmas special. And honestly, it fits pretty well as a 15-minute special. I just think there are better versions of A Christmas Carol out there. Like this one has its immediate flaws. Like for example, I feel like the Ghost of Christmas Present is a bit too long to screen time, and there's like not enough screen time for the Ghost of Christmas Future. Like the Ghost of Christmas Future gets a whole like 5 minutes of the special, and then I think like the Ghost of Christmas Present is almost like half the special right there. The Ghost of Christmas Past definitely had decent enough screen time. Yeah, but yeah. There are just better versions of A Christmas Carol out there. I'm gonna put this one in B tier. It's a good one, but there are better versions out there. Like like the Muppets Christmas Carol. That one is actually probably the best way to watch A Christmas Carol, in my opinion. But there are a lot of versions of Christmas Carol. If um, I may just watch all the versions and then just rank the all the Christmas Carol adaptations just by that because there are just so many out there. Um, so yeah, okay. Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. Now, um, for this one, this is their longest Christmas special that they produced. Um, this is their longest one they produced, and it's about an hour and 30 minutes. And for this one, I feel like it went on for a bit too long. The concept of having a crossover special is a pretty good idea. Having both of your two most noticeable IPs, Rudolph and Frosty, and having them having a Christmas special together is it's a pretty good idea. However, the execution it's okay. I just don't like the fact that they had to pan out so much runtime, so much so that uh, you would think like, oh, once you defeat the winter thing, it's all over. Nope. The frosting is melted now because the amulet wore off because the monster's defeated. So yeah, I feel like if like the once like as soon as the monster's defeated, Santa comes and we don't have to pad out runtime. It just doesn't. It just feels like it feels like it would have been better as as an hour Christmas special rather than this big Christmas movie that they like hour and a half. I think a little longer than that actually. So yeah, it runs a bit too long. It's pretty good concept, but it just runs too long, and I feel like for Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, I'm putting it at a D tier. So yeah, I feel like had it been like an hour, it would have been a lot better. Right. Jack Frost is insanely boring. I I honestly didn't even make it through the whole special. Like about halfway, just decided to just uh do other things because I just wasn't engaged by it at all. I'm gonna put Jack Frost in an F tier, and yeah, they really retconned Jack Frost's character in it. Like I feel like the Jack Frost's character in Winter Wonderland is just a lot better because his jealousy and then he turns good, and then that good characteristic carries over to Christmas in July. That's good. But then you got this whole other Jack Frost that's just well, a complete feels like a completely different character than the Frosted Winter Wonderland version. But yeah, I didn't really like the special. But there's another one that goes at F tier, and it's up next. Pinocchio's Christmas, put it simply, has to be the worst Christmas special I think I've ever seen. Like it feels way too similar to Pinocchio to make it feel like it's something else. Like I don't know what they were thinking when they were making Pinocchio's Christmas, but I struggle to find a good thing about Pinocchio's Christmas. Uh, in my opinion, they like the cricket character doesn't even get introduced until like 20 minutes in, and even then it's like okay, no, I'm leaving, and then like halfway through the special, all of a sudden he's on his side. Like, what made you change your mind? The fact that Pinocchio learned his lesson. Oh, but we have to pay out runtime somehow. We can't have a 30-minute Christmas special. It's not like we've done that before. We have to retcon him so that he forgets what he already learned. Stupid. It's so stupid. Easy F tier. It is just absolutely stupid. I hate Pinocchio's Christmas, and don't ever watch this one. It's awful. Luckily, the Leprechaun's Christmas Gold is a bit better. Um, I may have liked it a bit too much. I may have ranked it a bit too high. But I think it was after watching Pinocchio's Christmas that this one was just a bit of a breath air. Honestly, again, I'm gonna put this in C tier. I do like the story of this one, but again, it feels more like a St. Patrick's Day special than a Christmas special. It's a similar problem to Rudolph's Shiny New Year. This is just a bit worse than Shiny New Year because there's barely any like you could say that like Rudolph and Santa being there is Christmassy. This barely has anything to do with Christmas. It's just like the Christmas gold, and yeah, that's about it. Just the Christmas gold. Yeah, and honestly, if you watch the St. Patrick's Day special, I guarantee you it's actually a pretty okay special, but yeah, as a Christmas special, it doesn't really work. And finally, we have the final Christmas special that they produced, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. And I kind of wish I wasn't, I kind of wish I was ending on a higher note, but yeah. This was their last special produced by the company before their bankruptcy, but honestly, I feel like it's a worser version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, but it's an, it's an okay special, just not really a favorite of mine. I'm gonna put The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus in the C tier, just to have like a solid ending. But yeah, okay. So that is my official ranking of all 18. We're ignoring those two down there. That's my official ranking of all 18 of the Rankin Vest Christmas specials. So yeah, so the S tiers are Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and Twist the Night Before Christmas. A tier is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Year Without a Santa Claus, Frosty's Winter Wonderland, and That's the Longest Christmas Donkey. B tier is Rudolph's Shiny New Year and The Stingiest Man in Town. C tier is The First Christmas, The Leprechaun's Christmas Gold, and The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. D tier is Cricket on the Hearth, The Little Drummer Boy Books 1 and 2, and Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July. And finally, F tier, Jack Frost and Pinocchio's Christmas. So yeah, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Be sure to check out my other Christmas surprise that I have for you, and that is Gatomon singing "Don't Be a Jerk, It's Christmas." I will put a link to that in the description on my Discord. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys have a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. I will see you guys next week for the return of Dodo Remy, and also hopefully we'll finally be resuming Monopoly Madness. I feel like I've been holding that off for a bit too long. I apologize about the lack of videos this month. I've been busy with the 25 Days of Christmas, and I've really just been taking a break from videos for the holiday season. But videos should be back on in full swing this upcoming January. But yeah, so yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.